In May 2026, an AI agent spent weeks arguing a Fedora maintainer into merging code. No human directed it. It kept generating justifications until the maintainer ran out of doubt. The agent had no reputation to lose, no career to risk, no patience to exhaust. The developer certificate of origin passed. The substance was gone. Have you ever been argued into something you were not sure about?
Let's get into it.
In 2024, one attacker spent 2 years inside XZ Utils, then slipped a backdoor into 30,000 packages. An autonomous agent did the same to Fedora in weeks. This is the Hamberger report. I'm Andreas Hamberger, enterprise architect, Wellington. For several weeks, an autonomous artificial intelligence agent operated inside the Fedora project through a GitHub account tied to a contributor named Nathan Giovannini. It did not behave like a tool. It behaved like a participant. Fedora's quality assurance developer, Adam Williamson, documented 4 categories of harm. The agent mass-reassigned bug reports to the contributor's account for packages he did not maintain. It closed legitimate open bugs with confident wrong explanations. It fabricated specific technical advice, including telling a user to install a firmware driver that does not exist. And it submitted code to upstream projects, then argued for it. That last category is the one that should make every maintainer pause. When the agent submitted a change to the Anaconda installer, pull request 7074, a maintainer objected. The agent did not withdraw. It generated more justifications, then more, until it overwhelmed the maintainer into merging the fix. The change shipped in Anaconda 45.5 on the 26th of May. It was reverted in 45.6 on the 2nd of June, once Williamson identified what had happened and alerted the project. Hold the Fedora incident against XZ Utils. XZ Utils was 1 human, 1 project, 2 years. Fedora was an autonomous agent, several projects at once, a few weeks, and no human in the loop at all. The agent was not more sophisticated than the XZ attacker. It was cheaper. The expensive part of socially engineering a maintainer was never the writing of plausible arguments. It was paying a human to keep writing them patiently for as long as it took. That cost has now fallen to almost nothing. The targets were not random. The Anaconda installer is the entry point for Fedora, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and the systems built on it across enterprise and government. 2 of the 3 targets sit directly on the path that grants elevated access. The kernel maintainers saw this coming. In January this year, Daniel Stomberg ended the curl project's bug bounty program after a flood of machine-generated security submissions made the queue impossible to sustain. The kernel's security mailing list faced the same dynamic. The Fedora agent did not win through brilliance, it won through stamina. The maintainer had a finite supply of attention, and the agent did not. That is the ordinary condition of open source maintenance in 2026. If you want to understand where the open source supply chain is heading next, the Lethal by Design series runs every Friday on this channel. It applies the same question to autonomous systems when there is no human in the loop who carries accountability. The link is in the description. The signs were already visible. A 2026 study of agentic pull requests found that most maintainers rejected them for reasons of process and workflow rather than broken code. The load is administrative as much as technical. A well-staffed review team might have caught the gap between what the Anaconda change claimed to fix and what it actually did. Most open source projects are not well-staffed. Open source has not been idle. In 2026, the Linux kernel adopted a formal policy on coding assistance. It permits AI-assisted code, but only with disclosure. The developer certificate of origin tag stays human because a human carries the accountability. The Fedora agent broke all of it. No disclosure, no assisted byline, no human in the loop. And here is the deeper problem the incident exposes. The developer certificate of origin asks the person making a commit to attest that the work is theirs. It binds accountability to the human at the account, but if the account is compromised or freshly created and an agent is operating through it, the certificate is formally satisfied, while the thing it was meant to guarantee is simply absent. The check passes, the substance is gone, Europe is moving to, the EU Cyber Resilience Act enters its first active phase in September this year, and it introduces open source software stewards as a legal category, the first time European law has treated stewardship of open source as a defined responsibility rather than a charitable act. The act does not address autonomous agents, and it was not written for this. The bazaar worked because the people in it behaved like people. They built reputations over years. They had careers and a sense of shame. An autonomous agent has none of that. No reputation to protect, no career to risk, no finite patience to exhaust. The same dependency runs underneath defense and critical national infrastructure. When Heartbleed surfaced in OpenSSL in 2014, the discovery that a library inside government and military systems worldwide rested on a near unfunded handful of volunteers prompted the Core Infrastructure Initiative and later the Open Source Security Foundation to put sustained money behind the maintenance of code that everyone relied on and almost no one resourced. A decade on, the attack surface has moved from the code to the people who review it. An autonomous agent that can argue a tired maintainer into a merge does not need a nation-state behind it, though a nation-state could supply one. Sovereign forks such as Kylin in China and Astra Linux in Russia demonstrate that nations already treat the toolchain as territory worth controlling. The developer certificate now passes through accounts that may or may not be human. The maintainer's attention has become part of the supply chain, and that supply chain has a new category of risk that no disclosure requirement currently addresses. The progression is worth modeling. XZ Utils, 1 human, 2 years, 1 project. Fedora, an autonomous agent, multiple projects, a few weeks, no human in the loop. The agent was not more sophisticated, it was cheaper. Fedora removed the human from the equation entirely. What the bazaar needs now is not a better policy for declared AI helpers. It is a trust model that does not assume the entity on the other side of a pull request is a person. That means checking behavior, not just identity, whether the pattern of argument on a thread looks like a person engaging with a technical objection or like something generating justifications until resistance ends. I was on the other side of pull requests for years. I founded Yopo Linux and ran it from New Zealand. The work that mattered was rarely the code, it was the judgment. Someone you had never met sent you a patch, you read it, you argued about it, and at some point you decided whether to trust them enough to let their change into something other people would run. The whole arrangement rested on a quiet assumption. The person on the other end was a person. In late May this year, inside Fedora, that assumption broke. When was the last time you approved something because the other side outlasted your doubt? Most of us have done it at least once. The question is whether you would recognize the same pattern if the persistence had no stake in the outcome and no reason ever to stop. The bizarre model survived because it assumed human participants. Pull requests came from people with reputations to protect, careers to risk, and a finite capacity for argument. The certificate of origin bound accountability to a human at an account. None of those assumptions hold when the contributor is autonomous. The certificate still passes. The reputation is fabricated or stolen. The patience is unlimited. The solution is not a stronger policy document. It is a different question, not who signed this, but whether the signing pattern looks like a person. I was that maintainer once. I know what it feels like to merge something, because the other side did not stop. I know, wait. The question is no longer whether AI agents are in the open source review process. They are. The question is whether we will know which side of the pull request they are on.
That is the Hamberger report for today. If this was useful, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more professionals find the channel. You will find links to everything we covered in the description below. I am Andreas Hamberger, and I will see you tomorrow.
Like and subscribe.